Hello everyone, the player break is over and we're back for ESL Challenger League and a brand new season of ESL Challenger League at that as well. All the regions are getting underway and we're about to kick off South America. We were due to do Red Cannons versus Bestia, but that game has been postponed due to some unforeseen circumstances with one of the Bestia players, sadly. Hopefully all will be well for them in the future. So tonight, we're going to be going for Sharks versus KRU instead. A bit more of some unknown teams, I suppose you could say, and players on the main ESL broadcast. Definitely worth the look. Sharks, of course, had a bit of an appearance in Pro League last year, but KRU, the org, of course, that is supported and funded by Sergio Aguero, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty cool. And alongside me, of course, is the wonderful Matt. Otherwise
I'm like a
known as
bobblehead,
Hayes.
mate. I just sit here and go, yep, yeah, this is rattling off, mate. It's perfect. But yeah, absolutely. It's good to be back once again. Of course, we covered a bunch of the games in season 47. Was a hotly contested season indeed. And yeah, we're ready to sink our teeth into season 48. The table is looking stacked. We can actually bring the group's graphic up now, have a look at how things are going to be shaping up coming into the competition. Of course, there are 16 teams with 10 spots up for grabs. It's quite a forgiving Swiss stage, Trav.
It is, and I mean that made the playoffs certainly very interesting toward the end of last season. I think we covered a couple of those games in the playoffs, and yeah, of course, a lot on the line with a future Pro League spot. Of course, got to make sure you get these games consistently sorted. As I was kind of talking about earlier, one of our other Brazilian matchups that we did in a different tournament. Insanity was involved in that one, and you can see them in this group here. Quite often there's quite a big skill gap I feel between some of the higher tier 2/tier 1.5 teams in Brazil to sort of tier 3 like your likes of Dusty Roots, Smoke Gaming, for example. But yeah, I think we've got some quality teams in here. Pain, Imperial, Red Cannons, and MIBR. I think the picks for me without a doubt. And MIBR won't be playing actually in ECL for a little bit because they'll be busy with their EWC commitment. So they're going to have some catching up to do once they get back.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we did see a lot of teams kind of balancing the scales a little bit, making sure they had enough points to qualify for the playoffs, but sometimes having to just sacrifice and forfeit a game. I mean, there are a lot of matches that you play here in ECL South America. Of course, it's done differently compared to in Europe, right? So you play a lot of Counter-Strike, the back-to-back best-of-one system, lots of games to be played, lots of action. So yeah, lots of reps coming through as a result as well. And like you said, the rep we're going to get here is KRU, which is an org I haven't actually seen before against Sharks, a team who have made some changes. So let's get into the rosters here. We can actually bring that graphic up and have a look at both of these teams.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's quite a lot to discuss, I reckon.
Exactly. And one thing to remind you guys of is the fact that this format in South American ECL, I think, is the back-to-back best-of-one format as well, which is a little bit different to some of the other tournaments, of course, that we have around the grounds. But yeah, I mean, the KRU and Sharks rosters are very interesting. I mean, as we said, we saw the core of Sharks in Pro League last season. They had a pretty good game against Vitality. Other than that, sadly, it didn't go too well for them, but it was at least a good start. It showed what these players are capable of. Just to confirm, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there, we are going to be playing on Anubis on this first best of one, of course, and then the second best of one, just as a reminder, that Anubis won't be in the pool for that second best of one that we're going to have afterwards, so we can't get the same map twice. I think, I mean, I'm going to go for my personal prediction here. I think Sharks will take this one, but there's a world in which KRU could do something for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think it's too difficult to fathom that world, actually, right? I mean, this is a team who have been working very hard to improve their level. They weren't a part of ESL Challenger League Season 47, so now they've been able to kind of rub shoulders with some of the higher level competition. They've been together for a decent period of time, at least the core of the team, right? Deco came in more recently. He was a part of Bestia before, the other really well-regarded team from Argentina. So he's now joined up with KRU, and I'm excited to see how things are going to mesh here between them. And for KRU, you know, this is a season, an opportunity now where they can kind of start to take things to that next level and push some of the better teams in the region.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see if they can do that. I mean, one thing I will say actually about Deco, like you mentioned, I mean, I think he spent like 4 years in that organization called Isurus, I believe, as well, maybe just under 4 years. And then, as you say, went to Bestia. He was probably the main guy that did kind of all the interviews whenever Bestia appeared in some international events. I believe there was an ESL Challenger they appeared in once, and he kind of did all the interviews. So it's always good to hear from one player's perspective, especially when maybe the other players don't speak English as well, for example. Deco was always very articulate, and it was always very interesting to hear from him. And yeah, it's a cool project with KRU, without a doubt. There's a couple of players here that we've seen before as well, just maybe in the past. I think Reversive is one that is quite an obvious choice. He's been around for a very, very long time. He's 32 now as Reversive, and of course he also spent a long time in those sort of Argentinian organizations. I'm just looking at it now. He also spent 3 separate stints in Isurus as well. So yeah, he's got all the experience for this team, and it'll be interesting to see if he can put it to the fore.
Yeah, Ataraxia is another one of those names that I've actually seen around as Boca Juniors, where he's plied some of his trade. Either way, let's talk about the Sharks roster, Trav, because this was a team that was very well established up until, their results started to go awry, and then they started to tap into the roster changes. A while ago last year, they actually benched Shea Jesus, who of course then went on. I think, is he playing in Fluxo now? So he was benched a while back in the Sharks roster. They then brought a new player in. They tried to make it work. That didn't work either. They then benched DRG and Togs most recently, which were 2 of the players that were completely a part of the identity of the Sharks roster. DRG had been the IGL of the team for over 2 years, and they decided to pivot in a completely different direction. They've brought Koala and Pepe into the roster, 2 players that I don't really know much about. Some interesting names there as well, but it certainly does sign that Sharks are going to be heading in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen much of Koala at all. He's quite young. He's 19 years old, of course. He's actually been, in fact, he's only 19, and he's already been in, I think, 8 separate teams on HLTV in his history. It all kind of says that maybe he's still trying to find a home that he's comfortable with. I mean, a couple of organizations that maybe you will not really know as well, like Sierra, I believe it is, or Chiara, I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it. And some sort of middling Brazilian teams as well, like the Union and Galores. And I think we've obviously seen them in a couple of other seasons of ECL as well. Had a little stint in Furia Academy too, but Furia Academy seems to cycle those players quite a lot, right? So it can be quite hard to keep track. But he's definitely got some talent there, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he can find something that he's comfortable with. As you say, Pepe, completely more of an unknown to me and to you. So it's a first for both of us. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
I mean, Pepe has played 52 maps for Sharks already, and Koala 46, so it's not like they're new players to the team. They would have a pretty good idea of how they're going to play, what sort of Counter-Strike they're going to play, how they respond to different situations, developing their protocols. I don't know who's calling, though. I'd imagine it's Pepe. That's literally just purely based off of rating alone. I know that DRG was the IGL for this team for a long time, and I couldn't see someone like RD Enzao or Gafolo stepping into that role. RD Enzao, one of those really important riflers in the team, one of the heavy hitters, Gafolo the AWPer as well. Doc also just didn't really seem like an IGL type figure. So I'd imagine Pepe is calling for this team, but I'm not actually entirely sure.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell. Of course, a lot of the time, some of these smaller Brazilian teams maybe don't have as much social media presence as well. So maybe it's easy to miss that sort of information, and or maybe they just don't even post it at all, right? So it can be very hard to tell. One of the reasons, actually, I chose this game as a sort of a second choice, as the Red Cannons Bestia game did get postponed, as I mentioned just before, is the fact that these 2 teams have actually played each other very recently. Of course, we spoke about it earlier in one of our CCT games that we were doing. The fact that quite a lot of these Brazilian teams are playing regional events over the player break and keeping sharp, right? Which is pretty interesting. And Sharks and KRU actually did play each other only 5 days ago. They played a best of 3 in CBCS. They played Nuka Mirage. So we're going to see a different map in this BO1 here of Anubis. And that one went 16-14, 16-14 to KRU. Double overtime on both maps. So, yeah, it could be in for a close one again today.
And then they did play each other just 2 weeks before that, and it was 13-10, 13-10 in favor of Sharks. So there actually have been some very closely contested games between these two teams recently,
Yeah.
and we have no reason to expect that this next game is going to go any different. Of course, you mentioned Anubis is the map that'll be played. That's a map that they have played against each other. It was won by Sharks in a narrow 13-10 victory there. Anubis in general actually has been a good map for the Sharks team. There's a bit of a rough patch of form for them, but even with the previous roster, Anubis at one point I think was the best map for them. So they certainly do carry quite a lot forward with still retaining the core.
Yeah, and that's a good sign as well. I mean, I think if you are going to change things, especially after you had some good success with the qualifications through last season, making Pro League, as we said, and you're going to have a good reason behind that. And to be fair to them, I think they've actually done okay for themselves. And yeah, if you look, as you say, the fact that there were 10 spots for the playoffs overall in ECL this season, you'd have to look at them as being maybe top 5, top 6, or pretty comfortably. If you look at some of the teams that maybe will be slightly struggling, I mean, we've already had one game completed. It deserves to be said, of course. One that was maybe played a little bit earlier today. One that wasn't broadcast on an English stream. That was Case versus Imperial, and Imperial literally just today announced the benching of Henny because they're trying to. Aptly, in my wording, trying to get Try from the bench of 9Z. So. Yeah, I think that's. I think Henny deserves some justice. I think Henny was quite good in Imperial, to be honest. But they're looking to change things, and because of that change, they had to play with their coach Zach. Did Imperial, and that means they went down to Case in both of the BO1s. So already that's an early loss in the season for Imperial to have to deal with. You'd still favour that over the course of the season they'd beat some of the more middling teams and some of the teams that expect to get relegated, but they're going to take some time to manage to get Try off of 9Z's bench, and if it takes too long, could be some trouble.
Yeah, it seems like they're a few days late on the roster changes that had to happen, right? Maybe the management also indulged in the player break. They should have been making moves in the player breaks so that they had their roster established coming into the new season, ideally, right? Either way. You play 30 games, Trav. You play 15 back-to-back best of ones, essentially 30 maps in total here in this this group stage. So plenty of opportunities for Imperial to just get their campaign on track, right? The thing for me is that how many names are there that are guaranteed to make it? You look at like Red Cannons, sure, MIBR, Pain, Fluxo, okay? I'd say those 4 are basically lock-ins, right?
Yeah.
After that, it's actually pretty open-ended, I'd say.
So what you said, Red Cannons, MIBR...
Pain, MIBR, Fluxo.
Pain, Fluxo. So I will take the 5th team to be Sharks. I'll take Bestia as well. Odic have quite a good team as well, so I'm actually going to make that my 7th. Then you look at some of the lower ranked teams. I think Insanity, we casted them earlier today. They have some great storied names on their roster.
I like casting a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take them as an 8th. And then I think those last 2 spots are absolutely up for grabs. I mean, I think, for example, a Case Esports or maybe even a
Solid as well.
Yes, Solid as well. I think that Case and Solid, there is definitely a case to be made.
We haven't even said Imperial, Trav.
Yeah, I know, because we're at the bottom of the table. So that's the 10th. Easy. Nothing to worry about. What's not easy is when you have to cough, which is rough. But,
yeah, I remember to unmute my mic this time, though, Trav.
That's life. We're going to be jumping in to the first map, at least the first broadcasted map, of ESL Challenger League Season 48 in South America. We're going to get Young Sharks and KRU on our screens. It's Anubis. Let's go.
I don't mind me some Midnight Counter-Strike, baby. Gamer hours activating. And as you say, Anubis is live. Sharks get to start on that CT side. KRU have a little bit of utility, and they have a lot of damage. Yardi and Zhao playing for some info there. Little peek out, and he has his bell rung.
Doc has
this angle.
Off angle, as you say, with the dualies, it's going to be basically a freebie. There we go, at least one. Thankfully, there wasn't a lineup of maybe 2 or 3 players rushing him down, because that definitely could have been a multi-frag position for Doc. Not this time, though. No one else coming his way. Reversive will drop, and Deco and Laser still have their utility to plan a play, so we'll have to see what they go for. Bomb gravitating the outside of A at the moment.
Be a bit of a fake, Trav. I'm going to try and draw those players away from their A bomb site and then head in that direction. Koala, though, has not taken his crosshair off of this angle, and he will be rewarded for his patience as well. Takes down Deco and will indeed send KRU in towards that B side. It's a bit awkward. They're kind of caught in limbo. And Gafolo, who came into this round with absolutely nothing because he dropped the 2 sets of Julies, actually will be able to find a frag and round out the round. So Sharks win the pistol. Probably gets a bit closer than what they would have liked, but they do open up their account first.
Yeah, actually, Gafolo and RDN and Hezawa there were ended the round on both of them on 3 HP, which is, could have gone either way in a different universe, perhaps. Even without the plants, we're going for a 4 spy for KRU here, which is interesting. Have enough, obviously, for some utility, but it's only Tech 9's, PT50 on Ataraxia. He brought up a helmet as well. That's really all he has. I'm sure they'll maybe swap the utility around a little bit to give him something to go for. Laser's trying to run down Gafolo in mid, and Gafolo just about gets away, obviously realising that there could be some dangerous pistols on the way to grab him, so makes sure he keeps himself alive. Riggy's Galil. It's going to have to be the weapon to get baited in for the most damage here. That is the raid boss.
Yeah, absolutely. He is going to have to be the tip of the spear, the man to do most of the damage as KRU look to burst their way through that smoke. RDN will find a kill on Laser initially. Not going to stop that onslaught. However, the second wave of defense will be enough. At least KRU are able to get the bomb down at the bare minimum, but doesn't look like there'll be much else outside of that. They do come close in a few gunfights, but just the one casualty for Sharks. They won't mind that result.
Yeah, that's an excellent result considering even though they're giving up the plant, it's not the end of the world. Gafolo, only man to drop. RDN did really well with his FAMAS, managing to put out the sidearm as well to stop Ataraxia from pushing him down with that P250 after he got the bomb planted. Tried to push his way through that smoke on a timing, but didn't work out, and works out for Sharks. They get a free Galil saved over as well, taken from Riggy. And the FAMASs were made to look pretty decent there.
Yeah, certainly were able to get the job done required. KRU now will settle for the eco, but an eco with a few extra pieces invested into it because of the fact that they get that bomb plant in the previous. They figured that their little pop in towards B didn't work out, so now they're going to try a exec in towards the say bomb site. There are 2 players here for Sharks and a fresh smoke as well. Will it be respected is the question.
Koala, ready and raring to go. Incendiary, as soon as he hears players running his way, and he'll absolutely hear them ticking to that fire and flames. Doc is there to support. He gets a couple, and that's time for the NC9 to do some of his own. With a bit of help from Doc, with his 3, Koala makes sure he gets himself at least that 2. Great start for Sharks. Clean as they would have wanted. Koalas are cool animals, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
Have you seen a koala IRL?
I think maybe at like a zoo or something. I mean, seeing them in the wild is just highly unlikely, I suppose. But they are just like the cutest animals out there. I feel like you've got some good koala facts for me, Trav.
Well, I mean, other than the fact, what is it, eucalyptus they eat? That's the only thing I really know. So
yeah.
I mean, it's always.
I'm pretty sure there's some like crazy koala facts out there.
Oh, for sure. I think one of the most famous things is that is that people call them a koala bear when they're not a bear, right? That's one of the most famous memes.
They're like closer to rodents or something like that, maybe.
I mean, I know for a fact there's like a song about it. It's like, please don't call me a koala bear, 'cause I'm not a bear at all. Something like that. Okay.
Oh, there we go, Koala. He is certainly scaring KRU here, yeah, regardless of what you're going to classify him as. He is tearing KRU apart.
Its closest living relatives are the wombats. That makes sense.
Okay, alright, yeah. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. arboreal very hard word to say.
that the Latin name?
Herbivorous marsupial. There we go. Got there in the end. Can Koala do more? He's got a free AK from his good work in this round already. 2 kills. Can he make it even more than that? Riggy's not going to check this off angle again, I don't think. It's an easy kill for Koala. Looking to swing for another, and he's farming right now. He makes them look like eucalyptus at the moment.
Yeah, the way he's eating them up, man. Scrumptious. Can't help himself. I mean, KRU have only got 3 kills so far, Trav. In fact, two of those 3 kills came in the pistol. They've got 1 kill in the past 3 rounds.
Not great. Not great.
I'd say.
There's a lot of experience on this team, though. And Deco, of course, as I said, after his 4 years in Isurus and his great little stint in Bestia, alongside Reversive, 2 players that know each other very, very well and have experience in trying to recover these sort of situations. And even though it's a super clean start for Sharks, and they should be very happy with that. We mentioned those previous results, of course, that double 16-14 that went in KRU's favour in the CBCS regional event over the player break. So yeah, I mean, despite the fact that it's looking rough for KRU and struggling to even get kills on the board, they've run Sharks very, very close of late. Don't count your
Can be
chickens.
different in a best of 1 though, Trav, because
It is.
you know, those were best of 3s, and I guess hypothetically speaking, you'd expect to see more one-sided games in best of 3s because you get to pick your map pick. Either way, put that points on ice because KRU are just charging straight through this B main smoke. The defense has been able to hold up so far over on the side of the map. RDN is going to find himself an important multi, but can't completely lock it down. Doc will rotate through and get a frag of his own. And guess who? It's Koala. Oh my, he's in the perfect position. That's so unfortunate. Reversive is thinking because Koala's the A main player that there's a very good chance he's coming through canals, but that's not the case this time round.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the very common plant spot is open to the flank and open to the E-box and canal area, like you say. So he tries to maybe use that information to the best of his ability and plant what he thinks is safe. But it ain't. Koala gets himself his 8th. And,
what I was saying there, though, is that
yeah, go ahead.
In a best of 1, you obviously get to pick your map after your opponents have banned just 1 map. So there's a pretty good chance you get the punish pick. Whereas in a best of 3, that is, in a best of 1, you know, you both get to ban 3 maps, and you generally end up in the middle ground. So you would expect more closely contested maps in a BO1. So the maps I was kind of cooking up there actually doesn't even hold up to the point I was trying to make.
It's a good point either way, though.
Cheers, mate.
First proper gun round, it feels like, in this game, to be honest. Considering the fact that Ataraxia has got his AWP out now. And they've got slightly better utility, but they've already used quite a lot of it, and it doesn't feel like they've gained a whole lot until right now. Ataraxia got flashed off the angle, but his AWP will sing. And Deco got his kill as well. So first 5v3 to work with.
I mean, surely this is them going to be getting their first round on the board. Best position they've been in by some distance.
Yeah.
I do like the call from Sharks a lot, though, right? It's kind of, okay, do or die. We don't have much going our way. Let's go for the gamble, roll the dice. They've stacked up all 3 of their remaining players towards the speed bomb side. That's exactly where the T side are headed. Apollo finds the first and the second, able to pivot his focus in towards B main. Doc's already drawn blood. There's no one left alive. There's a TK.
Ataraxia. Well, his teammate's name is Reversive, but you don't want to do the reverse and take out your teammate. That's not the way to go. Awkward for KRU, and you got, as you absolutely rightly say, Shark stacking the bomb site, taking the gamble. Why not? It works to perfection. Must be so frustrating considering they had such a great round overall there, KRU. They got their 2 picks, they grouped up, they went together, and they got picked off. Gafolo especially, those first 2 kills with the AWP, the second one being particularly sharp. And picked off one by one.
Gamble was absolutely the correct call. That's just disastrous for KRU, though. Not only because they drop the ball in a 5 versus 3, but the way they drop the ball falls apart so quickly for them.
I feel like it's also a very, very rare occurrence that CT sides win 3v5s on Anubis. Just knowing how this map is, so hard to get mid-round aggression in play when you're in a disadvantage. Such a high percentage of rounds are won when the T side gets the opening pick, let alone 2.
Yeah. Completely against the grain.
Yeah, and
Already halfway through this first half.
And that 3v5 is just going to set them up even better, you'd think. They've got Tech9s to face in this round. Gafolo's found another. Their money is looking very, very comfortable. And Gafolo's hitting shots.
Always has been a very impressive offer from the region. Gets the Q Koala up here as well. He's only going to be able to inflict some damage, and Gafolo, just as I hype him up, is actually going to go down. RDN can't do much about it right now. Okay, lots of bullets whizzing around right now. KRU has been able to find the bomb plants in the process. Deco also has an AK, so don't discount the impact that could come through from him. However, the util forces him to look away for a brief moment, and it will all unravel from there.
So we were having a discussion about this before the game began. About like how we'd go around pronouncing KRU, and we'd say, I think crew makes sense, but we could just say KRU because it's 3 letters, and very often those 3-letter names are just pronounced letter by letter. But someone very nice in chat, well, I'll give him a shout out. Sneppy Goop, that's definitely one of the usernames of all time. He said, crew is a native Spanish team, and their name is pronounced how in English you'd say crew. So there we go. We will pronounce it crew, and thank you very much for letting us know. I appreciate it, my friend.
It's actually quite a nice like double meaning with crew obviously being like a team, a group of people with a common goal kind of thing working together, you know. I think it's just like a happy coincidence, but I do like that. Looks like they're trying to play with some pace now over on the T side. Yeah, Koala's going to be forced all the way backwards, perforated. Also inflict some damage of his own though. And crew looks like they're going to head in the opposite direction as a result.
Lots of damage done. Deco down to 27. Koala doing the AWP as he's low HP. Right now the utility usage from Sharks is just so solid though. And again, it's quite unusual to have a clean sheet still intact at 7-0 on Anubis on that CT side. Teams are starting to adjust and learn about how to make these CT sides a lot more viable over the course of this map's tenure in the pool. And it's getting more and more even as time goes on. After how ridiculously T-sided it was to begin with, of course. Anyway. Again, they're picked down. That nade's going to be dirty. Oh, Reversive and Laser both take massive tags to that. Another one will come through on Reversive. Down to 29. He hasn't even seen a soul. Pepe will be mollied out of the cubby, but look how many defenders there are to get through for crew. Laser and Deco will do really well, though. Reversive started it off. 1 kill for each of those 3. And now they've got an advantage. The smoke from Gafolo going super aggressive. Takes actually quite a long time to get that kill, considering he was got the drop on his opponent pretty much. 2 versus 2, low HP on both of them. They go for a double swing, and that's the way to do it. Reversive with 3 kills on the board in that round. Nice triple, and it gets crew off and running.
Yeah, good pivoting from them back and forth as well, kind of realizing the best opportunities they had available after they inflict the damage to the A anchor. They know there's a good chance that the CTs are forced to kind of pad up the defense on that side of the map. They try and knock down the defense on the other side, and eventually they are able to get the job done. Not wasting any time either in that post plant, just forcing the issue to finish off the round. And crew get themselves on the board. There has to be a few more where that came from, though. Can't just be a one and done. Oh, that's Araxia. Felt like he had forever to line up that shot on Pepe. Pepe hands.
Yeah, and he launched himself into that peak, that's for sure. And sometimes it can be very awkward, of course, especially with the A1S, just the the fire. And don't get me wrong, he missed some shots, but just the slower fire rate and adjusting it mid-spray when you're up against an AWP, which is a 1-bullet kill, it can make you look a bit silly sometimes, just the way that situation works out. Gafolo looking to try and answer back. One of the most common strategies to try and answer back is to go for aggressive plays in toward canals, but Deco is keeping a very close eye on it. Shoulder peeking back and forth, not wanting to give Gafolo a clean duel. And the problem for Koala is that while he's got decent control of the A side at the moment, he's got to worry about mid every now and then too.
Oh man, great util usage raining in on the save bomb side. There is support that's coming through for Koala, but the initial flash is so good and Laser was very ready for that extra peek to come through, but Doc does the damage. Fantastic triple out of him to maintain some sort of semblance of control. It was very briefly a 5 versus 2, but Doc's just kept his team in this one. Not going to expect Riggy towards camera, who's actually between these two remaining CT players. Gafolo with the AWP is the key right now. Oh, there's no way. How on earth does he hit that shot? And Ataraxia, he's aggressive, but Doc's ready for this. Doesn't mean he's going to get the kill, though. Gafolo now knows exactly where Ataraxia is, but he's not being given up that gunfight. Ataraxia's gone through the molly. That is very ballsy, and he'll just force the fight.
That was a crazy 2 versus 2. Doc did so well to bring us down to that position, and yeah, I can't believe Gafolo grabbed that frag. Looked impossible. But it gave them a chance and gave him a chance. In the end, Ataraxia plays it very ballsy, as you say. Jumping straight through the Molotov, he realizes that maybe his opponent might just jump onto the bomb instantly and defuse it if he doesn't take more aggressive control in front of it. So yeah, I think Crew, there's a world in which both those last 2 rounds wouldn't have gone their way. It could have been 9-0, but they answer back. Those 2 closely run 2v2s and 1v1, as it turns out. And they have a bit of a handle hold on the game now.
Yeah, if they can win this round here, they break that CT side economy, and 7-4's a foregone conclusion at that point. So Crew are on the brink of completely opening up the game here once again, but it is all dependent on winning this 10th round. Laser has only gotten 2 kills so far on this map, but he looked pretty snappy on the entries in towards that A bomb site in the previous, so hopefully a sign of things to come from him as we see Crew continuing to just play this numbers-based Counter-Strike. Remember, they've got Yell as their coach now, guys. Yell was previously a player for Paqueta. We saw him play at the Americas RMR for the Paris Major last year. Certainly one of the esteemed players from the region. And an interesting career shift for him as well.
Well, they're trying to do it again. This time only 1, though. But 30 seconds left in the round. Rotation has to be pretty quick. Gafolo is in that position. Nade will break open that smoke slightly, and Gafolo does really well to find his 1, but he can't escape the fire and can't escape the kill from Laser. Doc gets 1 more, though, and Doc is doing an absolutely brilliant job from this position. Time and time again, Ataraxia is screwed, and Doc will
He's
even make it a
15-3. Doc is 15-3 right now. He is having a field day. Such important multi-kills coming through from him. Yeah. And unfortunately for Crew, they don't get the bomb down, so it means they're going to have to eco here as well.
You mentioned Yell, I mean, about him playing with Paqueta too, right, in the Americas RMR for Paris. Yes. I mean, he's been around also for a very, very long time, and he's still quite a good player. I mean, I remember him back on the Luminosity days. I think did he AWP for Luminosity, I think, back in 2016, 2017? Not sure.
I mean, not in my memory bank, but maybe.
Back then, I seem to remember he AWP'd a little bit, but yeah, I actually quite enjoyed watching Yell. What Yell just sort of reminds me of sort of the old American Pro League. I used to see him play in that particular league every single night. Anyway, this is actually a really nice hold from Pepe. He could be on for all of them here. He swapped to the AWP. It's down to reversive, but the ace is stolen by Koala. And I say stolen, in fact, he was actually there on good time to help out his teammate, because that round was getting somewhat close.
I don't think Pepe is going to be complaining too much about that last kill being nipped up by Koala. Good rotation coming through there. It looked a little bit shaky for Sharks, but yeah, after, was it RDN who just misses all those shots in towards E-box, but it is okay at the end of the day. Important multi-kill coming through from that Bianca.
Yeah, and Pepe did really well because he had only a few bullets left in the A1S to get that third kill, I believe, and
Yeah.
could easily run down in that sort of situation. So, very nicely played by him. Last one of the half coming in, and it's a nice headshot by RDN to start it off.
Yeah, if Sharks get themselves up to double digits here, that would be a massive feat for them on the CT side. All of their individuals just coming to the table when they've been required, when they've been called upon. Koalas and Sharks combining, Trav. Throw a frog in there with Pepe. Got the full Monty.
Not a combination you'll ever see, I think, in any place in the world, a koala and a shark.
Ah.
Two very,
Counter-Strike
very
brings us
different
all
animals.
together.
Exactly. Exactly. Actually can't think of two more different animals than a koala and a shark.
I'd say a frog is a pretty good middle ground between a koala and a shark, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, actually. Anyway, Gafolo is pushing forward with a Tech 9 of all things. He's feeling confident, doesn't even need the AWP, doesn't even want the AWP. He's going for the sidearm, and why not when you can get two with it? Tech 9 on the CT side. Stolen from the T side, and look at Koala. He's just dropped down into Canal and taken Wiggy out the round. It's dropped the bomb in that position too. Quick trade from RDN, and it's 10 rounds. Double digits on the half for Sharks. We'll see you in a minute. The Sharks... Oh, hello. I didn't hear you say anything. I didn't hear you tell me. That's all I'm saying. I didn't hear it. That's all I'm saying.
They're in a prime position, Trav. Our Sharks to get the job done. 10-2 up. Complete and utter devastation on that CT side. They now need to complete proceedings here on their T side. And they've done a good job getting in towards the say bomb side. Just need to finish off the job. Koala wants to plant the bomb here. There's still a number of players for them to try to deal with. And Deco's making life very difficult here for Sharks.
Yeah, Deco actually managed to get away without with reloading there, which surprised me slightly. But thankfully, even though they try and fumble the plant back and forth, RDN managed to deal with it and does it very nicely indeed. Deco almost got given a chance there, but not to beat. All I was going to say was that the Sharks were looking hungry. It's fine. Listen, I still love you. It's all right.
I hope so, man. I hope so. It's been a long day for me. I'm feeling sensitive. I'm emotional. I need these words of affirmation right now.
I'm always going to be that guy to give them to you. Don't worry.
That's true. That is factual. I'm not even just saying that for the broadcast, guys.
As well, in person as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Trav is what you see is what you get, guys. It's not for the cameras. He's legitimately a good person. It's crazy.
That is crazy. Not many of those out there.
No, not many, mate. Not many. I'll tell you that much.
Anyway.
By the way, you know what I don't like, Trav? I'm going to tell you something for the first time you've never heard me say before. I don't like teams force buying in the second round here when it doesn't guarantee them some sort of a full buy later on in the half. Because if Crew lose this, they're going to have to just force again to try keep themselves in on Anubis. We may not even see them get one full buy on the CT side.
I've never heard you say that before. Absolutely crazy statement. Deca, though, he's going to start it off nicely with the MP9. And there's some damage done to Koala here as well. They've got a nade stack in position. This could be Kafolo in the dust. Let's see if it reaches him. Oh, actually not as much damage as I thought. Doc will get caught as Laser pushes through, though. Down to this 3 versus 3. They know RDN is toward that platform area just behind the smoke. So the damage being put through that smoke to tap him down. But in the end, that smoke is going to be a little bit too awkward. And they all peek together on a timing to make sure they deal with it nicely. And as you so rightly say, that force buy comes to nothing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's been a complete and utter blowout. Such a stark contrast to what we were kind of trying to set the table for coming into this as well between these two teams. They've played 4 maps against each other in the past, like, 3 weeks or so. And they've all gone to double digits regardless of who's lost the map. So, couldn't be more different here coming into this best of 1.
Yeah, it's been a rough one for Crew. Shame, because I thought this one could be pretty tightly contested. I guess they said the last 2 games that we've spoken about, you've just mentioned, were pretty competitive, especially that last one just 5 days ago. As I said, quite a lot of these Brazilian teams playing some of these sort of tier 2, tier 3 regional events to keep themselves fresh and sharp over the player break. And yeah, Sharks definitely looking for some revenge perhaps, but don't forget, of course, it is a bit of a different format in the back-to-back BO1s in Challenger League.
Yeah, we'll see these two teams play up against each other again in a few moments' time. Map yet to be decided. It cannot be Anubis again. No, Riggy. Probably feel like he should have gotten more than just the 1 kill there, considering the opportunity that it presented itself as things now fall apart here for Crew. It is only Deco left remaining. 1 versus 2, not impossible, but oh, okay. He's alive here, Trav. 17 points of health. He's got the bomb as well.
Oh, how is my guy alive? How has he escaped a nade? How has he escaped a molly? He's managed to get himself through the smoke. 6 HP to spare. Doc is 18-6 in this game. He's looking to try and close it out with an even better KD. And Deco on a tight angle. He hears Doc running back into the site. So Deco's going to try and ghost his way in here. Doc going for the plant. Deco not afraid but to push forward. It's going to be glanced at by Doc. Wow. Of course he's going to take it. That is a fast headshot. And a very comfortable first map of the season for Sharks.
Mate, towards the end of the last season, you could see it from Doc. He was looking very good, excuse me, on an individual level. And if he can keep that up coming into this new season and kind of just stake his claim as that star rifler here on Sharks. We could see some very exciting things in the second half of the year from this player. I mean, he just looked so damn good here on this map in particular. So many vital multi-kills, you know, locking down the defense on that A bomb site in some crucial rounds as well. Doc was able to hold his nerve, and yeah, I really enjoyed what I saw from him in this particular game.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that maybe we can look at as well, which is maybe something that might actually go against Crew 2, is the fact that our next map in the following best of one, I believe, is going to be Ancient. And that is one actually that these two teams haven't played in those last two instances we mentioned, right? That they played in the last 3 weeks. So realistically, in recent times, that has also been a very, very good map for Sharks. It's one that Crew play a hell of a lot, but Sharks have played it the same amount of times and have been way more successful.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit rough for them, but anyway, we can probably hope to see better from Crew, because that was a bit of a walkover.
Not going to be difficult.
Exactly.
Yeah, it won't be tough for them to improve, but we are going to throw this one to a short break, guys. When we come back, it is going to be that second best of one of the evening. Don't go too far, and we'll be back soon. Go for it, Trev.
Yo, we are back, and right now it's been a bit of a demolition job for Sharks. The first best of one is incredibly comfortable, and now we go into the second one on a map which they are looking a lot better than Crew on as of late. So, yeah, I'm not hopeful for much of a change, but we shall see.
I feel like what happened on Anubis wasn't like a map-dependent thing either, right? I mean, we just saw a complete and utter masterclass on the CT side from Sharks, but it's not because they played super well as a team. Don't get me wrong, there were rounds where it was all about the rotations and some good retakes, but I feel like the anchors were just so good at their jobs. You know, Koala playing A main was doing a fantastic job. We saw some great multi-kills on that B-bomb side as well from Pepe and RDN. You know, Gafolo with the Zorp was on point, so it didn't feel like to me that was because it was Anubis, and that's my concern here for Crew, is that just felt like the individuals were outclassed, right? And we could see something similar happening here on Ancients as well.
Yeah, there's a good chance that'll be the case. I think if you look at recent results, as you say, they both played the map the same amount of times in the last 3 months, 16 to be exact. And Sharks, they've slipped up a little bit against some teams maybe they shouldn't be slipping up against toward the end of last month. Bounty Hunters, we had a chance to see them earlier actually in another tournament. Bounty Hunters looking pretty okay. That's not a bad loss, 16-14 in overtime, it can happen. They did lose 13-11 to a team called Patins de Ferrari. And they have one of the most wonderful logos, I think, in Brazilian Counter-Strike right now. If you want to look up their team name on HLTV, Patins da Ferrari. There's some known players.
I did actually see it in the CCT graphic earlier on. I'm pretty sure
they have Leo Monster, who came from INT.
Oh, and Kutzmaretz as well, actually. And Kutzmaretz is actually, he's one of the higher regarded IGLs in the lower tier Brazilian region, like tier 2 and below kind of thing. He was on that meta team for a very long time. So yeah, playing alongside Leo Monster is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun little org and fun little,
cool logo. You're bang
cool
on there.
Logo. Yeah, absolutely, funny one. But yeah, but if you exclude those 2 losses pre-player break, they won, I think, at least 8, I believe, overall. So yeah, I mean, in general, their performance has been very good, and they've taken down teams they should be beating. To be fair, a couple of close ones as we see, of course, against Bestia too, which, you know, it's also a decent win, and they managed to get some revenge against Bounty Hunters just 4 days ago in that CBCS tournament that I spoke about. So, yeah, again, another team that has been playing a lot in these sort of regional events in Tier 3 Brazil, Tier 2 Brazil, during the player break to keep themselves fresh, and it seems to be working nicely because their individuals, especially, look pretty clean there without a shadow of a doubt in that previous game.
I think it's good for a team who have made some recent roster changes, you know, some changes towards the end of the preseason to towards the end of the previous season, rather, is what I meant to say. To try and get things going earlier on. You know, don't just start at the end of the player break. It's always good to, you know, get things going a couple days early so you hit the ground running once the season does get going once again. And it looks like that has been the case here for Sharks. So yeah, I think they will be feeling pretty good coming into the thick of things now.
Yeah, and as we said, they're definitely one of the top 6 or 7, maybe even better, that for in our books, that will almost certainly make it through to playoffs, just in terms of, you know, skill diff to some of the teams that probably will finish below 10th to about the sort of 16th area. And yeah, I think I'm looking forward to seeing how they progress with that. When it comes to Crew, as you say, just purely a better performance than the previous BO1 is really all we're hoping for here. There's a world in which that could still be a bit rough, but yeah, we'll have to see.
I mean, remember, as we've mentioned a couple times, the top 10 teams in the group stage here that progress through, and round difference could very much become, you know, a consideration later on in the season as well. So losing a map 13-2, 13-3 doesn't really bode too well for them. And yeah, making sure that they make these games closer is important in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, a little bit more to show for them to try and see if they've got some form in the bank. Crew, we're about to get underway on Ancient. Second of our back-to-back best of ones. Pistol round underway. We saw Koala do some fantastic work with the dualies in that first map on the CT pistol. Let's see if we can do it again. Reversive Deco and Laser have the utility spread out, and it looks like they'll be going for a execute.
Nice and simple. Donut smoke being lined up here already by Reversive. we've generally seen the CT smoke being thrown more often than the donut smoke, and excuse me, that is the CT smoke, so I was going to say, that does kind of keep up with the trend. You try and fight for donut, in fact, never mind, they're going to smoke that on the fly, so there we go. Smoke does get cleared out, but Koala has had his head cleared of his brain, so a great way for Crew to start off proceedings here in this important pistol round, try and get things in motion in a favorable fashion. Kills just being traded back and forth right now. It's only RDN left remaining, and he's found a dink, but no kill on the player he dinked initially. That's Ataraxia was afforded his life. Deco does go down, but Ataraxia completes the pistol with the triple.
Yeah, honestly, that was really well done from Ataraxia. I don't actually know how he got his 2 instant taps. They were off camera while we were watching the fight of the CTs coming through that smoke to help out toward the site. And yeah, Ataraxia did incredibly well to get those 2. And even that last kill, I feel like it's a very difficult one to hit when you're sort of playing around with the box like that with a P250. Sometimes it can feel a bit more awkward than a Glock or a USP, using the P250 in that sort of position. Certainly less ammo, that's for sure. So, yeah, Red does very well there, for sure. Reverse is going to get absolutely run down. Thankfully, Riggy has a 35-bullet Galil to help out, and a Glock to boot. Plenty of bullets, and he gets himself an anti-eco ace.
Okay. Well, they've already equaled their round count from that previous map, so that's going to lift the spirits, no doubt, of Crew. Heading into this first full gun round here, Sharks got the M4s across the board, enough util to work with as well. It's one of those rare situations where Crew are going to be starting both of the maps played here on the T side, because the map before this was Anubis, and of course it was Sharks' pick, so Crew got the choice of sides. And yes, sometimes it can be tough, man, when you're the underdog starting both maps T side, have to try and find a way to break down that defense, and we saw the T side struggle a lot on Anubis. Haven't had the start to the gun round they would have liked here either.
Great start for Doc and Pepe. Smoked off outside A as well. Frustrating. Locked away. The real choice is to really go in as a trio. Right now Sharks are playing some, I guess you could say, safe angles, so just making sure they don't lose anything for no reason. As you can see, Koala, thankfully for him though, he's got an extra incendiary to block them a little while longer, just about wide enough since that incendiary nerf, of course, to keep them at bay. And now the rotations will come through as they realise it's probably going to be an A push for Crew. Laser, so good damage there, and that nade could do some good work too, as you say. Ow, before it even happened, a preemptive ouch. And Gafolo, well, he's stuck. He does well to get one, and it should be enough because now Riggy is stuck on the site.
Oh no.
Easily get pushed down, and it's an M4 with 0 bullets in it.
The empty mag, yeah, that is always a heart sink into your stomach kind of feeling. Good round coming through for Sharks, so it was destined to be their round. Nice attempt from Crew, didn't really have many options available, just try and group up A main and get something done in towards the A bomb side. I did like Gafolo's repositioning there, just playing around the donut smoke. Meant that he was in a position to help out Koala on that A site once the exec came through. He wasn't trapped in donut, not able to affect the defense. And now the investment sucks for Crew.
It sucks. These Tech 9s, when you go speedy into a Jaguar though, maybe get up close and personal, can always be a bit scary for a CT side, and they'll smartly make sure they fall back and play a little bit more defensively rather than have someone in a forward position in that Jaguar area this round.
One small thing.
Go on.
Sorry, and it is a small detail, but Shark smoke both Jaguar and top ramp at the same time. And I think that's a bit of a waste. You normally just want to smoke one of them at a time because you're kind of obstructing the execute anyway. Now that you know, if you smoke top ramp, the Jaguar players probably have to wait for that ramp smoke to fade to join up with their teammates. So they were going to be waiting anyway.
It is a good point. A point worth making. Gafolo actually...
Worth interrupting?
Yes. Gafolo actually has pushed a little bit further forward here with Doc, which is somewhat surprising, especially with the AWP. I'm gathering that they do understand the situation of the economy. Now the AK gets the kill. The AK is going to have to peek and help out. There we go. Gafolo just gets completely run down by the Tech-9. Maybe a little bit overzealous there to go up with his teammate with the AWP against the Tech-9s. And now they're in a 3 versus 2. Our crew to try and close out their third round. It could still be possible for RDM though. He's all got a kit, he's got a couple of flashes as well. He's isolated one, and his teammate reversive. Oh my word, runs straight into the spray, and Deco just about gets away with it.
Yeah, it looked like the spray hadn't really reset there for RDN, even though he had stopped shooting briefly once he tried to shift things across to Deco. He got that initial kill on the player crossing, tries to then regain control of the weapon, and he isn't able to in time. Doc gets that frag. He was low on health, but he gets the vital trade, and Crew will actually make that Tech-9 force buy work in their favor. As you say, Gafolo in a very forward position there, maybe getting a little bit ahead of himself. No way to fall back after he misses that first shot, and his teammate Doc had actually fallen back a little bit as well, so he couldn't really help Gafolo out there.
Yeah, frustrating one for Sharks. And in general, as I was saying, I didn't really like the being in an advanced angle there like that. Fellow does get caught. And now they're down to a buy, which is certainly rough around the edges. Auto shotty on Gafolo instead of that AWP now. Doc on the scout. A glass cannon scout to boot. And P9 on Koala. He's going to stop to push forward slightly toward A-Long. Ataraxia is certainly ready for that eventuality though, and it's a good reaction. The MP9 could have easily taken him down from that close range.
Yeah, good kill coming through there from the Argentinian. This is the force buy from Shark, so if Crew can win this, they go up 4-1 and then should be 5-1 for free thereafter. Is there a world where both these teams just comfortably win their own picks? I mean, I know it's still early days, but Crew have started very strong.
Yeah, this is, as I said, one of the maps we haven't seen Crew and Sharks play up against each other lately. It's been Nuke as well, as with Mirage, I believe, too. Double check that. Yes, it was. Mirage, Nuke, and Anubis. The 3 maps we've seen these guys play against each other. Something different in this slightly different format as well. A site taken in this 5 versus 4. Koala was removed. Gives them plenty of space, and Pepe and RDN will absolutely try and save the M4s. I think you may as well keep the Scout and the XM2, to be honest.
Yeah, makes sense. Just, you know, roll the dice, try and stack up together on one side of the map. If they don't come your way, you save your guns, and then next round they will eco, but they'll have a pretty solid base of firepower to work with. I expect them to eco. I don't think it would make sense to just go all in to buy up util. Settle for the save, carry these weapons through, and then guarantee a buy in the round afterwards. Crew will be feeling a lot better about themselves here though, Trav.
Four to 1. Crew improving on their previous game already. As we've
Drastically.
said. Yeah, exactly. Gafolo will be boosted up with the XM on the corner. Got support with the Koala 5-7. This could absolutely spiral slightly with this shotgun. Instant headshot. Enough pellets of that one shot. Hit the bonce of Deco and he gets away with it. But they know this Koala 5-7 is here as well, so they're not going to just go in one by one. And look at reverse actually, the MP9. He's just pushed through the entirety of B. And somehow gets himself a free kill.
Oh,
and a dink
wow.
for Koala. That could have changed things if he completes that one more kill.
Yeah, must have just been outside of that one-shot range of the 5-7. Leaves Riggy alive on 4 points of health, but he's been able to pick up that AWP, so he'll be feeling more confident about what he can contribute here in this post-plant. Ataraxia still got plenty util, as does Riggy. This is going to be really difficult for RDN. Of course, it is essentially just an eco, so the fact that they've done damage alone is a pretty good return, and now there's a very real chance. The problem is, Trav, and it's a big problem, he doesn't have a kit. Needs to get this kill right now, and, well, he'll realize off the back of the audio cue, Riggy is been able to tuck himself in safely. We'll pick up the orb. Don't think he'll survive the bomb explosion, but that's not going to matter.
Front flip. At least goes out with some style points. And yeah, he does win the round either way. They were always going to win the round, as you say, when he was kitless. And yeah, it's crazy that, you know, the fine margins in CS, if that 5-7 of Koala is maybe a little bit closer, the 5-7 is a one-hit headshot rather than a 96 in one. Riggy goes down, and it's a 1v1 instead.
Small margins indeed. And look at this. Crew, they're just turning up the pace. They're just charging straight in towards the same bomb. But I love the Koala danger pace coming through from the key side. Oh my god, look, Koala's actually been able to catch Deco there as Deco's caught in the air. But kills continue to flow through. Reminds me of the pistol round. Sharks have rotated very heavily in towards the same bomb side. And with great reason, eventually Reversive will go down as well. And my goodness, Crew were never actually able to settle on that A-bomb site.
As soon as you lose one and it just starts to spiral a bit, it can be very difficult to recover those sort of situations. And kind of in a pattern we kind of saw with our games earlier on today. That's a decent start from a team that could be considered the underdog, and then they just lose a gun round, maybe one, after the rounds have been close, of course, and it puts them down to pistols once again. Don't forget, Crew kind of got off to a good start in this game by winning a round with pistols themselves, of course. That very tight round where Deco just swung with 16 HP to win the clutch. Do we have another one in the bank? It's a long shot. Only one set of Kevlar on Riggy in this one.
Yeah, a couple pieces of util. Not much to get excited about. Not as much as they had to work with in that other round you were referring to. Either way, let's see if they can find a way to at least inflict damage and keep that Sharks economy looking vulnerable. Haven't really seen Sharks get things going yet here on Ancient. Winning this anti-eco would be a way for them to gain some momentum.
Pepe needs to be ready, and oh my goodness, even though Gofolo hits a tag on Ataraxia, he actually gets the deagle kill. I think he knows he's been tagged. Would have seen the blood splat before he went down, so called his teammate just to peek. Knows it's going to be an easy kill. Nice shot, Riggy. Now he's the last one alive. Pushing forward, trying to dance with the angle. Hits the body shot required. He's got 9 seconds on the clock. It's enough time for a plant, but Doc is about to run him down and takes him down. There was no way in which he could maybe pick up a rifle or maybe get himself into that clutch at all, with Doc being so close. Pepe's going to go and collect as much as he possibly can around the map before Doc defuses.
Little vacuum cleanup. Either way, I mean, the fact that Crew get 3 kills there and a bomb plant would certainly be regarded as a successful eco round. If they can now follow that up with a successful gun round, they would maintain full control of the map. Having said that, if Sharks can win this gun round here on the flip side, then pretty much back to an even keel at that point. So this is one of those important rounds to kind of give us an idea of how the next few are going to look. What sort of context will play out here.
Yeah, what can Crew fix that's gone wrong in this all-important gun round? Utility is decent, as we've said. Reversive actually going to try and peek from shelf, trying to get a smoke in toward Donut so they can cross over. Now, as soon as that smoke has come in toward Donut, RDN realizes that his teammates will need to be relayed the information that they could possibly walk up in toward Red Room, and that's exactly why Koala rotates back to CT to give it a glance. It does leave the A-bomb site itself open, so that also means the RDN internal clock has to worry about them just walking outside A on a timing too, and just taking the site. Those are the mind games that can often go into these mid plays on Ancient.
As they've gotten their player in towards mid, is going to try and burst in towards the B bomb site. There's a number of players to be dealt with. Pepe has been mollied forward, but still able to just hold his ground. Gaffola gets an important kill, and now they're going to fall back on that mid player. Riggy's been able to craft some space here, looking to try and cut off the rotations, but Koala on the drive-by will decimate him, and RDN is danced around the donut pillar beautifully. Be able to mop up both of the players. Backs turned, kills found. All 5 players stay alive for Sharks, and they'll feel like they're now in a very good position.
Very awkward to get kills when the players have your backs turned, especially when you kind of don't get the instant headshot with the A1S, as you saw there. I mean, he used quite a lot of bullets on the first player and the second player, but still managed to recover and control the spray for both kills. I was playing a game of Thera the other day, the new Santorini, and I lurked up from a flank on, I think it was the A-bomb site, and I had 4 players who I knew they weren't going to look at me because of the way my timing was on the corner of the site, and I had my opportunity. I got myself 2, and then the last 2 thankfully lined up because I had 3 bullets left. So it can take you a lot of bullets.
Classic.
I got lucky. I got my quad kill, but I will say we did lose that game because we were playing an opponent who had about 26,000 hours or something stupid. So
that is a lot.
That's a lot of hours.
I remember when we were in high school, we read the Malcolm Gladwell book, and it said if you were able to put 10,000 hours into something, you could master it.
There you go. He's doubly mastered it then. Goodness me.
And I don't know his name, so what does that tell you?
RDN gets 2 immediate kills against the pistols. Incendiary as well. Koala looking for the advanced angle, maybe catching them, going for the boost onto the ledge, or maybe even holding the wide left angle as the T side would look. Head would be seen. There's a couple of cheeky off angles on Ancient that don't get used that much, that can often work out for some very easy kills. If you're up against pistols, that is, of course. Wouldn't stand in the open like that. Maybe against a gun round.
Yeah, fair enough. Got a bit more liberty at your disposal. 3 versus 5 here. Crew just gonna group up again with their numbers. 1 smoke behind them. Got to trust your teammate Doc. Trust RDN. Problem is the angle doesn't really favor him, because if they swing the bottom or middle there, they see Doc before RDN can do anything. Why he's kind of just drawn into keeping his crosshair train in that direction. And that's okay, because Pepe will lock down the defense on that B-bomb site, ensure there's no plant. And we have a leveled up scoreline as a result.
Yep, Crew will come back in with their buy now. Sharks have no worries with their economy for the last 2 rounds of the half. It's always very aesthetically pleasing when their utility is in the same order. No 2 flashes. 1 of each piece.
2 flashes, smoke, molly kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think most people call that OCD trap.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm roping myself in with that as well, don't you worry.
No, I know. I mean, everyone has aesthetically pleasing things that particularly like.
Easy on the eye. Looks good.
First
good looking shots around here as well.
Exactly, yeah. Reversive just went straight into Jaguar there. No holds barred. Oh, RDN. We will be feeling in his heart of hearts. He maybe could have got 2 there if the first kill was a little bit cleaner, but Gafolo Was caught out in that position earlier against the Tech 9. Against the Rifles, feeling a bit more confident once again. Goes aggressive to recover the kill. And keep it an even standpoint. And Koala is going to take some space. Or it's checked nicely by Riggy. As you said, it's actually a really good idea, I think, from Koala, to be fair, to go on that timing. But it was cleared smartly by Riggy, and now Gafolo has to step up.
Shot lands, no problem there at all. Tucks himself in behind the box. Riggy going to close the gap. Of course, Gafolo wouldn't know that for a fact. And in the meantime, Pepe's trying to make his way through middle, but Ataraxia's got his number. It's just a matter of time here. Oh, jeez. Okay, for a second there, I got nervy. And they know that Gafolo is in position with the orb, so shouldn't be too much of a problem here for Crew to finish off the job. Just got to make sure they don't give up these isolated fights, and Gafolo has caught a glimpse of Riggy. Stays in position with the scope trained in. He's waiting for a bit of an extension from there. Riggy, and the kill will come through. Hasn't been enough to actually get Ataraxia off the plant, though. Gafolo's just going to edge his way around the corner. Oh my goodness, he doesn't spot him. Travi doesn't spot him. Ataraxia, I think he blended in with the box behind him.
Yeah, he blended in with the box, and I think he blended in with the little bit of foliage that was directly in front of Gafolo there as well. That was awkward. He definitely had time to react if he saw him. There was a world there for Gafolo. There was also a world where if he hopped down from the temple ledge there, he would have caught Ataraxia mid-bomb plant and maybe pulling his gun out as well. But, of course, he wasn't ready to know that.
I mean, most people in that position, if you're Ataraxia, you get off the bomb plant after you lose your teammate. And that's exactly what Gafolo was expecting him to do. Riggy wants to try and turn up the heat and the pace coming into this next round, run straight through the smoke into Doc's M4, into the crosshair. And there's more aggression out of Crew, but it's just not going the way they would have liked.
5v3 for Sharks. Doc also waiting on a wider angle for the smoke to fade and maybe catch a timing. It's a bit of a weird one as you would look at it from the T side as well, because sometimes there are little few pokey, sticky out ledges on the walls that you can hide behind if maybe he was a little bit further forward. But he does swing wide. And goes back towards Shelf once that smoke fades. Ataraxia on the angle. Good catch on Doc. And now he's looking for more. There are still 2 more players on the B site with 40 seconds left to go. They're going to try and recover it. But when Gafolo is here and ready to frag, it's very hard to get through him. Pepe gets one more. Deagle is out. Nice frag from Ataraxia, but he had to swing so wide to get it. It gives RDN a freebie. But it's better from Crew. 6-6.
Got it. Okay, we're back. Second half of the second game is underway. Crew looking for a victory here in the double best of one header against Sharks. They weren't able to get it done in that first game. This is their last opportunity, Trav.
It is indeed. At least it's a better performance. They will stay even, and now they have the CT side of Ancient to deal with. But Sharks are very proficient on this map and on this side. Laser tries his best. He gets a 1-for-1. Pepe up close, fully blinded though. Great flash by Reversive. He gets a kill of his own as well, and another flash assist on toward Deco's frag too. And it leaves Koala stuck behind a smoke as he tries to reverse his way back through it. He's actually managed to escape with the bomb. He probably knows that all three players are there, but obviously they will check for him at some point. Now he's going to hunt. Super aggressive. This hunt isn't necessary. And Koala gets 2, and now he can escape toward the opposite bomb site.
Yeah, that was a really good decision from him not to continue to just try and run away, but realizing that they were actually hunting aggressively, searching for him, and that they might discount the fact that he could just be in the corner. 2 great shots out of Koala down into the 1v1. Deco on the wrong side of the map initially here. Gonna have to pivot across for the retake. He doesn't have time on his side either without a kit. No, Kevlar, only a smoke grenade, Trav. Might have to try and fall back on the 10-second defuse here. Is there a world in which he can make that happen?
Of course, Koala doesn't know. He's got no kit, though. So how does he play it? Knife is out. Might start swinging in a second. In it comes. Oh, the second tap. He heard him running away, and Deco hasn't got the time for it. Koala just sticking in the smoke is going to work out. They're going to try and go for the duel. He even gets a final headshot to boot as well. It's a full 1v3. And honestly, that was very, very well played. Realised every situation and used it to his advantage.
Yeah, beautiful clutch coming through from him. So composed. Heads up decision making on the fly. I think if you're Deco in that situation, you've just got to try stick the defuse. I know the 10-second is so unlikely, but you've already taken so much time to try and get onto the bomb itself. You've dropped the smoke on the C4. I think you've just got to gamble that full 10-second stick, and I don't think it was impossible. It didn't look like Koala was too keen to try and spam the smoke or anything like that. Anyway, Sharks have got the lead now. For the first time here on the map, they have gotten themselves a lead.
Yeah, I feel like in those situations, right, for crew, and when you're in the 1v1 like that, I think try and, even if you maybe put yourself in a position where you're not going to get the kill, at least try the option that is the most likely option that's going to win you the round, right? I think in that position, I know you're kitless. If you had a kit, you absolutely smoke holds that without a shadow of a doubt. But without the kit, again, even though it's very, very unlikely, it still might be your best chance to win the round to try and just hold it.
Yeah, that's
as
exactly
you say,
what I'm thinking.
With the way Koala played it, you're absolutely right. And now you mentioned that, so yeah, it's
unfortunate though. It's a tough call to make in the moment.
It is.
All right, well, Sharks gonna look to just try and get themselves in towards the safe bomb site. Not a great donut smoke at all. Not gonna affect them. Might even see Crew just fold their hand here, call it a day, carry all 5 players, forced up weapons through into the next. Having said that, Deco's kill might actually lure them in to give this one a sniff. And you know what, Trav? I mean, that could actually be detrimental to them because Deco gets a frag. Now they're like, maybe we should attempt the retake, but this could go completely awry. And then they've got nothing to work with going into the next round. So they're going to put all their eggs in one basket here.
And Riggy will at least find another one, and the Galils, we don't have plenty of bullets, but they are getting picked off one by one here. It's all down to Doc. He reacts for 2. Has he got the defuse? I think he has. I think he's good. Well done, Crew.
My goodness, I was just second guessing the decision to actually go for the retake there, but they're able to find all the frags necessary in very quick succession as well. Riggy's having a fantastic game here on Ancient. 16 and 10 coming through from him. He'll be very happy with his return as Crew level up the scoreline. Sharks drop the ball there against the 4-spy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you were saying about maybe luring them in when they didn't want to go in a way. But
yeah,
they, especially considering the fact that I think Sharks won a round in a very similar fashion in the previous map. But yeah, I think they dealt with that one very nicely. Went together, went as a group, realised where Sharks were playing from. Final player being on the boost, they knew he was stuck. Ataraxi should be able to fire some shots with the smoke here. Oh, he's diving inside it. How is my man's alive? He's been saved by Riggy. Goodness me.
And he's recovered a Tech 9 as well. So
and they've
he's
got
a
the
trophy. Oh, wow. Literally worst case scenario here for Sharks. Locked out of the map entirely. And they went all in here. They spent all their money. So great chance here for Crew to get a 2-round lead, essentially. 2 for the price of 1. And because Sharks won the pistol and then lost the round afterwards, it means that they are down a count of round loss bonus than what they would have been had they just lost the pistol. So yeah, actually Crew are in a really good position right now, assuming they can get the job done here against this force buy.
Just need to be careful. They got themselves in a great position here, especially economically as well. They could get a couple of rounds, not necessarily for free, but they should be favoured. Deco incendiary down and might choose to peek behind it. I think he knew that maybe he was being advanced upon there. All 3 players are waiting, holds a very tight angle, and yeah, Gavoda doesn't even have a chance to deliver. Just smart positioning and play from Deco, knowing he's got the opportunity to frag from that tight angle he was holding. Reversive comes and helps for the last kill. Sharks now under a little bit of pressure.
They certainly are, especially because they're going to have to eco here, so not going to be much juice to squeeze in this one. A bomb plant would be amazing, but even that's a stretch. And we're at the business end of the map here as well. We're getting into a position where if Crew win the gun round that follows this eco, then I mean, I wouldn't say this map is completely done, but it's not far from it.
This is the Crew we wanted to see, wasn't it? I mean, knowing that the last game they played against each other just 5 days ago went 16-14, 16-14 to Crew. We thought they'd be a little bit closer to Sharks in that first BO1, but not to be. Sharks are going to try and respond now, but won't be in this round. Blocked across the board. A plant will be very nice. Can it be denied? It will be. They leap their way in and run their way in and still survive with 5 players alive as well. Plant attempted, no bonus cash for Sharks, and no extra utility, of which they probably would have absolutely needed. That's why Gafolo's gone down to a Galila with his purchase to afford a full belt.
Well, it has reached that point now for Sharks where they're going to have to pitch up. They've been a bit streaky throughout this second match, the second best of 1. Of course, we got back-to-back best of 1s here. Sharks completely dominated Crew on the first. It was Anubis and it was a 13-2 victory for the Sharks. Hasn't been nearly as easy swimming here on Ancient. The Sharks are drowning, Trav.
Can Sharks drown? Can't they just get, like, beached?
Well, if a shark stops swimming, then it's not able to get oxygen through its gills and it does die, so kind of drowns in a way, I guess.
Okay. Yes, yeah,
I don't know, man. I just try to come up with something.
I mean, if you're just spitting there, like spitting randomness, you know what? It sounds convincing, so fair enough.
It is true though. Sharks can never stop moving because they need to move to get water through their gills. That is
Yeah, true.
That is important for them. Either
Yeah.
way, they haven't moved much here recently.
You know what a cool shark is? The basking shark.
Yeah? Why is that?
They basically swim through the water with their mouth open their entire lives and just like cipher plankton. That's basically all they eat. A
Okay,
massive
well,
animal.
Crew's mouth is open right now when Laser's just eating them up, man. My goodness.
I know, right? That was great from Laser. As accurate as one in that round. He's had a bit of a rough game, so good for him to get a multi-frag on the board. And yeah, they're like, it's kind of crazy. Like, it's a massive shark. You'd think it would be a absolute menace to society, like a killer whale sort of level, but it actually just eats plankton, the tiny little microorganisms in the water. If I was to give this one a go, 7 seconds though, and that's the biggest problem. Spray transfer didn't connect. It's actually going to be allowed to get the plant, but in the end, he can't get away. Deco finds it, and Crew have now a 3-round lead to work with.
I mean, at least a small consolation is the fact that Sharks get a bomb plant, so they could try and justify an investment here. It wouldn't look great though, right? you got to go for a half buy. You can't go all in here if you're Sharks. You just can't afford to. And you know what, Trav? Had they lost the pistol to start off this campaign instead of winning the pistol and then losing the force buy afterwards, they would have come into this round with that extra count of round loss bonus, and they would have gotten that extra little bit of money that would have pushed them over the edge. So, I mean, that punishment of winning the pistol and then losing against the forced afterwards is actually still coming through and affecting them. Imagine you add $500 on each player's finances right now, and things look a whole lot better. They probably buy.
Yeah. It's an investment I'm content with, to be fair.
Yeah, me too. I think they've spent their money well. I think they've gone about things as best they could have. Still having some sort of look forward to the future.
Yeah, they are giving themselves a chance to win this round, but also making sure they have enough in the next.
Big burst. We saw Sharks win a loser round against Crew in the first half with the sort of investment that Sharks have to work with now, but unfortunately, they've just been stopped. They've been shut down as they get into that B bomb site. Bodies lit to the floor. It's only Doc left remaining. I don't think there's any medication that can fix this one.
Plays just jiggling the angle. He knows that these sort of situations, it's very important for Crew to continue to win these rounds cleanly, because say they still win this round, but it's maybe just 2 alive, 11-7, then Sharks win 3 or 4 rounds in a row, their money perhaps is broken a round earlier than maybe it needed to be. Small margins. Doc is going to try and make his way in, but borderline impossible, and as expected it should be. Deco finds it. They can keep their 4 players up, and this is nice to see from Crew. Recent result of, as we said, going their way, but in a very close fashion. They are creeping ever closer to what would be a really good bit of progress for them and getting a win in ECL.
Yeah, and against a team who are expected to make it through to the playoffs. You know, Crew coming into, I mean, they didn't compete in Season 47 of ECL, so they're one of the newer boys on the blocks here. So if they could pick up a victory against Sharks, they would feel very good about that, and they're now just 2 rounds away from making it happen. In fact, I'd even say 1 if they can make it work here, especially if they deny a bomb plant. Sharks know there's so much riding on this round as well. They can't afford to let this one slip.
It's a classic case of when your opponents are on 11. I just feel like you're very much in the game. Only 4 around the gap, but 12 can't afford a single mistake. Folo pushing up toward the edge of Jaguar. Riggy is here waiting. Riggy's had a great map, it deserves to be said. I think he had quite a poor one in that first BO1. He's played very well. Docker seen his enemy, though, with the little jump over the top. And Riggy, oh, he didn't just get 1. They tried to double peek it in the end once they'd figured out the information. And he just lined them both up. The timing was off on the swing. Gave him a lineup, and he ate them both up.
Yeah, and Sharks not trying to force the issue on Deco, who actually will falter. He was in a really important position. However, Sharks aren't actually going to use that pick. They're going to use it as the fake. They've drawn rotations. There's actually nobody left on that B bomb site. Ricky's realized, yeah, maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of the game here on my rotation, and it seems like Laser's getting that inclination as well. So the longer Sharks take to actually get in towards this B bomb site, the further forward these players will be on their rotation. There is a smoke grenade for short, though, so that will guarantee the bomb plants at the bare minimum, assuming they can bypass Riggy, which I certainly expect them to be able to, and there we go. They've been able to take down that looming threat. Laser will find 1 back, but he's taking so much damage in the process. Caught between 2 players. Frags found. Actaraxia's position made known. And he'll go down as well. Peeks into 2, so Sharks are still alive.
Absolute necessity. Absolute necessity. Gap now back to 3 again. But as I said, Crew built up a good amount of economy by winning those rounds in that little streak they had pretty cleanly. So they have another buy to come in. Ataraxia can still afford another AWP. There it is. But they maybe only have one more left over now. The Sharks trying to work their way back in. Do they try and take mid aggressively? Do they go ahead of the util? They don't. They respect it. But Riggy's not respecting that angle. Going straight into it against his enemy, RDN. And had an opportunity. Couldn't take it this time, though.
Not like Sharks are out of the woods by any stretch, though, because if they lose this, well, there's no money in the bank, and they've got $2,900 coming their way. So it's still a really important round in the grand scheme of things for this T side. Reversive takes a tick to the molly. Might be able to kind of bait Laser in a little bit. Yeah, perfect. There we go. Laser finds one. Reversive able to check back in with his teammates as well. He gets in on the action, and there's another double setup here towards Donut as well. It's all about the setups for the CT side right now. Bait and switch.
Oh,
Not if you're RDN though. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about your setup.
Doesn't care about your bait and switch. Doesn't take the bait. And now he's got an opportunity to push him towards the site. First, he needs to get down silently, but now he's in the Molotov.
Oh my
and it's awkward. Koala takes it, and Crew, after they looked like they were in a brilliant position, looked like it would be impenetrable, they had been picked off.
Yeah, job done, round over. Sharks have got their 9th on the board. At least for Crew, there's money in the bank, so they will afford another investment after this, but Sharks are fighting tooth and nail right now. They smell blood in the water, and they're hunting Crew down. Ataraxia misses a key shot, so no AWP carried through, and you know what, looking at the money, Crew might have to just half buy here.
Yeah, I said that they maybe have one more buy after this, but they can only actually buy on 3 players. Do they want to go for it considering that fact? They are going to. When the majority can buy, that's what they're going to choose. Laser decides to just go A1S, Kevlar, and a singular flash as well, so actually they can buy with 4. Let's have Deca on the MP9. Blood in the Water is a very good skin, I will say. One of the classics.
Yeah? You a fan rather?
Yeah.
Are you a favor, Trav? You're a favor to a lot of people. You're a favorable human. I don't know, man. I had to try spin something there.
Listen, it's
like... late for me, Trav. It's borderline 2 a.m. I casted 2 best of 3s before this as well.
I know.
Best of 1.
It's fine. I'm tired too, but it's fine. Well, we haven't got much longer to go today. But thankfully, we've been treated to a pretty entertaining second BR1 here.
Yeah, and I'm glad we got something out of this.
Exactly, yeah. The first one was a walkover, complete destruction. Whereas this one has been Crew stepping up. And now, it's the business end of the game. They had an opportunity perhaps in that 5 versus 3 one that shouldn't have gone a begging so cleanly, especially for Sharks. And now Crew, with this force buy, the all-important force buy. This could be 11 all if they lose this round.
Yeah, true. Guaranteed the full 24 here. What a contrast between the first map and the second here in the back-to-back best of 1. Sharks just have all 5 players in towards mid right now, so they've got a number of options available. They could try and pivot through Jaguar, through Red Room, or Donuts, and it looks like it's going to be a combination of Red Room and Donut. You're going to be applying a lot of pressure in towards the, say, bomb side. Right now, the York, well, he's not going to have any impact on the round. Koala certainly does. An entry from him, and he gets traded out as well. Reversive should also be traded to follow. Oh no, he's been knifed. He missed his shots initially. Ataraxia stabs him in the back, and it's all on Pepe. He'll step into the smoke, and he's gone down as well. Trav's sound cues tell us all we need to know.
What on earth? What on earth? Ataraxia is in such a weird position, as you say there, with the AWP, and basically decides, well, my best choice here is the knife. The Glocks are out in spawn as well. It's very, very weird. And, well, the outcome of it is that Crew have map points.
Yeah, that is a disaster for Sharks because it looked like they were in such a good position after Koala gets the entry kill initially from Donuts and he gets traded out. So they've got the 4v3. Gafolo missed a key shot there, though, which meant he had to take extra time to try and finish off the frag. And, well, he finds a blade between his shoulder blades. And
That
Crew
is
have secured
wild.
themselves 3 match points.
And the right time for a timeout as well. I mean, that's just good knowledge of the situation, knowledge of the game. Your Crew winning a bit of a crazy round like that, where Knives came out in a critical moment. Throw in a tactical just to give yourself a deep breath and figure out what the plan is for getting this game done and dusted.
Problem is, if they lose this round here, they've only got a $1,400 round loss bonus. They go 12-10, they then could eco and then try and buy up in the last of the half, but it's still not going to be a full buy at that point, so it's still a very realistic chance Shark can force us into overtime. If they win this round here, I'll almost back them to get the job done at that point, so let's see where this one goes.
Yeah, I've been struggling with some of the setups that Crew have put into this game, though. As we saw, a couple of them very successful, completing rounds very comfortably. Some of them successful early on, then getting caught later if you're Crew, losing advantages. But they have a couple of opportunities now, and as you say, I mean, winning another round very, very close means money is tight. So Sharks, if they take this one, it could be very, very big opportunity to maybe bring it back to OT. This is the one for Crew. Molotov and utility being thrown in toward Jaguar. Doc will take it with the bank splash over the top, but with the Molotov it keeps them at bay and gives them control.
Yeah, Sharks, after getting all that control in towards mid, will now shift their focus in towards this B bomb site. Laser wants to flash reversive into Donut. I think it's all about, not Donut, excuse me, Cave rather. It's all about the timing. 25 seconds left on the clock now. 4 Sharks to try and break down the defense on this B bomb site. Reversive's run out of ammo. He's got no ammo, but Laser's got 2 on the spray down. He's not able to round the corner, but Ricky's got in on the action with 2 of his own. It's all gone to RDN here. He has to try and pick up the bomb, get the
7.
plants, and win the 1 versus 2 post plant outs. How does he make that happen? He's going to have to lock it in. It's not going to work out. The gunfights are being forced trapped. Crew have done it.
What a way for it to end as well. The one tap with 1 bullet left in the clip, but he knew the game was done either way. The nade flies in and dunks him out. And well played, Crew. They came in here as definitely underdogs without a shadow of a doubt, despite their recent result, taking that win over, I mean, 16-14, 16-14 in that previous game against Sharks. Like, pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, once that first map was completed, we thought they're going to need to answer back. They need a better result. They need to show us what they're made of. And you know what? They absolutely did. And I'm very happy they showed it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Much better showing from them on an Ancient compared to what we saw on Anubis. I mean, it was looking good at the start of the first half. It then got a bit shaky for them. And after they lost the pistol to start off that second half, I was pretty worried for Crew. But then they won their force by afterwards. And they never really looked back from that point either. So just a very strong showing from Crew on their CT side. And give us something to sit and ponder about going forward into the rest of this group stage here in terms of what they might actually be able to accomplish. Because they look pretty good tonight.
Yeah, we kind of ran through the names of the teams we're expecting to make it through to the playoffs. All the expected names and maybe some more left field picks who have been around for a while that maybe would sneak in, like Case, for example. But if Crew are going to put in performances like that, sure, lots of mistakes were made, and there's things to work on, as there always is. For example, even in that last round, the fact that Reversive was kind of diving around that smoke, just wildly spraying and then giving himself no chance once he was out of bullets was a little bit crazy. But his teammates were in position. Riggy had a flank. Maybe that was the idea. Yeah, I think maybe that's what Reversive was doing. He's got all the experience. Maybe deciding to himself, listen, I'm just going to throw myself in here, see what I can do. They're never going to expect Riggy in that position so quickly. So, pretty good idea, perhaps, and it definitely worked out for a win. But for today in South America, the day is done. We've obviously kicked off the season today. Post-player break, every single region of ECL is being played out, of course, and we still have North America to come later tonight, and around about, I think, 45 minutes or so, they'll be going live with that with some of our casting colleagues. So we'll log off for now and get some rest, but make sure to tune in for North America. For now, good night.
you